Forza Horizon 6 was announced at the Xbox Showcase, and roll the clip.
Looking ahead, next year marks 25 years of Xbox. It's a big milestone for the platform and franchises that you help build and make popular. As we think about bringing a new generation of players to these iconic franchises, I'm excited to share that players will get to celebrate 25 years of Xbox with a new Fable, the next Forza.
So yes, Forza Horizon 6 is absolutely coming to Xbox Series, PC, and of course the PlayStation 5. I think a lot of us hoped that, of course, we would see Forza Horizon actually come out this year, because it would kind of point to that with the fact that this game is now end of life, end of service, if you will. I don't know who tuned this. Definitely wasn't me. This thing does not turn at all. So yes, I am just overall happy that we now have a window as to when to expect Forza Horizon 6 to arrive. While obviously I'm a little bit disappointed, it's something I kind of expected. I actually mentioned previously, if we get FH5 on PS5 this year, I don't expect Forza Horizon 6. Or something like that. That's what I said. To release one game like in April and then announce the next one in June would have just been a little nutty, to say the least. I didn't even expect Microsoft with their massive balls to do something like that. FH5 for PS5 was supposed to come out a little bit earlier, but it was actually delayed and pushed back, and I thought it was for the Switch version, which we're still waiting for. We might get that at Gamescom, however. Now, the annoying thing here is I kind of expect that they were planning to release the game this year, but things changed with GTA 6 and then GTA 6's delay. The whole industry is just up in just craziness because of GTA 6. Whether a direct competitor or not, in this case, a bit more direct than, say, Call of Duty, everyone was poo-pooing themselves and, of course, doing their best to avoid the big behemoth that is GTA 6. I expect that they plan to release the game this year. GTA was holding firm, and so they said, let's push it back and delay it until maybe March of 2026. And now, conveniently, GTA 6 is coming out, what, May 2026? So I don't expect to see the game until the end of 2026, unless they are insane. Which they might be a little bit. No, they're not. They're not that crazy. So yes, the actual reason I think we're not getting it is not because, oh, we want more time to develop. No, I genuinely think because of GTA's delay and not delay and messing about, that's the answer there. So I've had a little bit of time to digest this information, digest this news, and basically come up with how I feel about the whole situation. And overall, I'm quite happy. I think this is the best case scenario, and I'll explain why throughout this video. It is a little funny to think about that Fable was announced for next year. So Fable, which is produced by Playground Games, is going to be releasing alongside Forza Horizon, which is released by Playground Games. But yeah, please remember they are completely different locations, different buildings. I mean, there's probably some crossover, but for the most part, they're two different teams. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We can do both games. But it's interesting, right? Whether you thought it was coming this year or not, what can be for certain is that I'm sure you'll be a little confused when I tell you that by the time the game comes out, it's going to have been 5 years since Forza Horizon 5 came out. 5 years! That is just something that doesn't make sense. There is no way on earth that a Forza Horizon game, based on the current formula, should take 5 years to be developed. They used to come out every 2 years, and even then, I think that was too long. Not that I wanted more of them, it's just that I thought it would... If you were building a Forza Horizon game, that was an annual release game. You just had a little bit more time than you needed for polish, because Forza is always very, very polished. Anyway, 5 years. Which is both exciting but also terrifying, because if it does come out to be Forza Horizon 5 with a new map, new location, then I will be throwing feces at Playground Games HQ. That is a threat. It's not only that, but the live service for this game, Forza Horizon 5, completely finished months ago. We got one final update, which was kind of unplanned based on the idea of putting cars in the game, so we got something new to walk with. Otherwise, the PlayStation release would have just been a little bit like... what's the point? So quite frankly, we've got a game that's finished, and we won't get the other game for over a year and a half. What? But this is incredibly important. Forza Motorsport. This is the newest Forza game, and they took out some significant new challenges along with this game, mainly being a new engine. And that went well, didn't it? Yes, that game was built from the ground up. apparently. And what they did is therefore scrapped basically every feature, tool, game system that they'd previously made to create it from a scratch. Even the lighting was done from the go. It was completely different as to what it was previously, and I think it still looks worse in a lot of cases. That's just kind of the beast of ray tracing. But hey, if any game can fix any issues, I think Horizon could do a pretty damn good job at an open world ray traced environment. Because just a little side tangent, in case you didn't know, games these days actually have required ray tracing, whereas previously they were just kind of sprinkled on as an option. If you look at games like Indiana Jones, you need it. If you look at Assassin's Creed Shadows, you need it. You can emulate it, but it basically should shave time off of development times in the future. It's just incredibly heavy, incredibly sluggish, which is why games don't run at native 4K anymore. Anyway, back on track. They built the tools again. For example, there was no drifting at the beginning. There was no open lobby system. It was the most stripped down basic form of Forza Motorsport there has ever been to exist. And in a worst case scenario, Horizon was following the same path. I think we would got a game with less content than Forza Horizon 2, which to this day seems to be the weakest of the series. Forza Motorsport is definitely the weakest. I'm talking about the amount of content. I liked Horizon 2, but Horizon 1's better. Forza Motorsport 5 was the king as being the worst motorsport games to have released with the least amount of content until the new Forza Motorsport released. Horizon was following that path, and that would have been genuinely terrifying. So I'm kind of glad that they're taking a little bit more time to build some of these tools, because Forza Horizon has a lot more going for it than Forza Motorsport does. They can take a loss, an L, with Forza Motorsport because it doesn't really matter. For these days, it's just to build the base for a Horizon game that's going to be successful. Of course, they built a lot of things from the ground up, but don't mention car models to them. You'll make them very upset. To be fair, they have started working on replacing some of those. But you get my point. More time, more good in that situation. Playground essentially rely on the Turn 10 devs to make the engine, make the tooling, but what's obviously become reality over the course of the Horizon Motorsport series is that Horizon has become the game. Motorsport started it, but nowadays Horizon could probably just fully take over, and I don't know if anyone would really be upset at this point. It would be sad, but I'm not saying that many people would be upset if they took the reins and started working on the engine and got all the tooling done in-house themselves. But I'm pretty damn sure at this point that the Forza Horizon teams are larger than that of the Forza Motorsport team, which is pretty interesting, isn't it? So they've made some fixes to core things. For example, like the lighting system has definitely been improved in Forza Motorsport, but these are things that needed to be done, in my opinion, by them way before they started properly working on what the final game of the next Forza Horizon was going to look like. You can't get these core physics, for example, built when the Turn 10 themselves keeps changing the damn physics. It would be an absolute mess. And that's why I think, because the tools weren't properly finished at the launch of Forza Motorsport, we've now had 5 years since the last Horizon. The idea of switching to this new engine, it could still be terrible. And as I said previously, this could make or break Horizon. The fact is they've taken more time and they really, really need it. There was a very, very high likeliness that they were aiming for 2024, 2025 with the original plans. Not to say it stayed that way for a very long time, but the fact is, clearly, it would have been pretty bare bones if they had done that because of the fact of the new engine and the bare bonesness of Forza Motorsport. Horizon today relies on so many factors, including the auction house and the ability to create your own events with the event lab, not just changing the settings of the cars like I am right here, but fully making your own events, placing props, placing checkpoints. All of these features, at least these two majorly significant ones, I don't think would have been fully tooled out if we got a release this year or let's say previous year. I just don't see it happening, and that would have been devastating for the Horizon series, which it's probably the only racing game we've currently got left at the minute. So by that I mean AAA, obviously. Counter to that though, the rebuilding of those tools is very exciting because quite frankly they are aged, they are old, they need a refresh from go, a rethink from go, because there's so many limitations. For example, like the whole ghosting situation in Event Lab, not being able to create events outside of the realm of just like a race. is very difficult to do. Not impossible, but very difficult to do because they didn't think about that type of thing. Think about being able to create your own playground games modes in the future. That's if they actually have playground game modes on the brain at launch. I probably kind of doubt those will even be it. But no, they've got more time. They can do this. They've got this. But the thing about the auction house, the new toolings that they could do to make this thing work, and the rethink on what could be the replacement, hopefully, for the festival playlist, because my God, I will not do another festival playlist. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. Unless there's some significant core changes and it links it to Event Lab or something, that would be pretty cool. I would be done. I'd resignate. So I'm a little disappointed, but overall, I'm more excited about what the possibilities could be without having to rely on, oh, they'll improve it in the next game, because I don't think that's acceptable in this current stage anymore. And there's still absolutely time for them to get feedback and hear from people like myself and you guys down in the comments, and creating these pieces of content where we talk about what we want to see, which I've done quite a significant amount of for Forza Horizon 6 already. So Playground Games, if you haven't been taking any notes whatsoever, I have no faith in thee. But it can only be a good thing to have more time to build the tools that were there previously or improve upon them, giving them a second look at looking at it from maybe a different perspective this time. So until then, of course, it's a little bit disappointing for racing gamers alike. We were hoping for a new racing game to release, and unfortunately, we are not getting one this year, at least on the Horizon side of things. Would have been a good year for Need for Speed, huh? Ha! Criterion EA! But what I'd like to say is, don't rely on AAA games for your entertainment. How about you look at some smaller IP? And that's what I've been doing on this channel, and I'll be doing for the foreseeable, because quite frankly, they're usually a lot more creative, and the turnaround time's a lot quicker because the games are smaller in scope, but there's more of them, more enjoyment. Oh, and Night Runners this year, by the way. That's a good one.